Hi folks, welcome back to the Emporium. So, the dark nights are here, autumn is well and truly coming in, Halloween, Samhain is just round the corner, so I thought I wanted to continue the vein of the channel with board game coverage and unboxings. I mulled over a few different titles and I decided to do this one, which is the Arkham Horror, the card game. This is basically, it is a reprint of the previous Arkham Horror card game. But there were issues with this, okay? So, quickly, what actually happened, see like how big the box is and all that, is this one, your original, was released, and what they basically done is, it was designed just for 2 players, but the game itself can actually be played with 4. So, the model at the time, with Fantasy Flight Games, was to basically give you just enough to play a 2-player game. You want your pals round, you got to buy 2 of these, okay? So you got your 4-player game, whether you're against or for or totally impartial on the model, that is the way it is with the earlier Fantasy Flight games. Okay, so as I picked this up, I had a little bit of a blast, and the eagle-eyed amongst you who've been with me for the last couple of years will know I did actually do this on Nick Terrell, my parent channel, a while ago. But I wanted to do it again because there is a significant upgrade in this box. Okay, so Fantasy Flight have gone out, they've done it again. Join me next month for Lord of the Rings, and that's going to be a similar kind of video. So what they've done is they rebranded this stuff. There's essentially the same cards that are in the other box I've shown you. However, there are more decks and more cards, so we can play 4 players right out the box. This was a little bit dearer. I can't remember the RRP off the top of my head, but it was cheaper than 2 of the original boxes. Okay, and they've basically just tidied things up a little bit as well. Things like the tokens, you used to just have like single digits for the hits, so you've now got the standard Fantasy Flight sort of 1, 3 and 5 wound tokens, that kind of thing. So this is a living card game. So the difference between a CCG, a collectible card game, and an LCG, a living card game, which this is, the living card game model is an interesting one. Okay, so we've got Arkham Horror, we've got Lord of the Rings, and we've got Marvel Champions, all 3 big flagship titles of Fantasy Flight, and they all do the same thing. So what it is, basically, the living card game is, you buy this, and there are 3 scenarios in a box, and you go, okay, yeah, I like this, the guys like it, blah, blah, I want more. So you go along, and you have a look on the Fantasy Flight website, or whatever, web resource, Board Game Geek, whatever you want to do, and you explore and see what else is available. Okay, so what they basically do is you'll buy a box, an expansion box, and in that will be new characters and 2 scenarios. Okay, so you go along, you play them, you enjoy that, you think, oh yeah, I like where this is going, and here comes the fun. There's then a further 6 adventure packs that go along with these. So what you're doing basically is, you know the contents of those cards. Go away and watch somebody else's, like, after this, of course, review of the different expansion packs. So you know basically what you're going to get into. So the first cycle was the Dunwich Legacy. Anyone who reads Lovecraft, this is a HP Lovecraft-based game, by the way, folks. Should have said that at the top. Will know the name Dunwich. Okay, so the first one is the Dunwich Legacy. So in that, you get a box, like I say, 2 characters, a couple of scenarios, and then you've got to go out and you've got to buy different packs to complete that. Think as if you're watching a TV show and different episodes going through. So, as I say, you know exactly what's in that pack, you know where you're going, what you're doing, what cards you get, etc. So, that is basically the living card game model. This is a deck building game. So, what it basically that means is you get a deck of cards, and with that deck of cards, you might build your deck different from mine. So you might have like investigators in this game, and you're going around different haunted locations and trying to work out mad stuff. Okay, anyone who's read like any form of Lovecraft will know how bizarre it gets. Okay, so you do that. So you have like an investigator, you pick like a character. Now, within that, there's parameters of what cards you can have. So this being a starter box, you're only going to get like limited cards. Go to your expansion boxes and you get more cards. So, you know, I could have like, say, Roland Banks, one of the investigators. You could play Roland. And even though he's like a guardian character, like a tank kind of character, we might both play him differently because we can upgrade our cards. So that is the essential, like, a deck building system. Okay, so within this box, we get that many cards that we can build 4 characters, 4 separate characters, 4 separate individuals, so 4 of us can play, and we can all have different decks, which you didn't in that one. Okay, so I've probably overcomplicated that. I do hope I haven't, but as per usual in this video, we always have like 5 minutes of waffle, so I'm going to stick the specs on and I'm going to read the back, which will make sense. Okay, I hope. So there's your front cover again, and just notice it's basically like noir, like 1920s, 1930s kind of art. Okay, Arkham Horror, the card game. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. A quote, of course, from Howard Phillips Lovecraft. So it says, in the sleepy town of Arkham, Massachusetts, a small band of intrepid investigators seek to uncover the nature of a sinister menace that threatens humanity. But beware, the arcane realm holds countless terrors, and the investigators must take care to maintain a tenuous grip upon their very sanity and survive. So you've not just got health, you've got like mental health as well. Arkham Horror, the card game, is a 1 to 4 player cooperative game in which each player assumes the role of an investigator and attempts to solve terrifying eldritch mysteries. Each game is a chapter in a longer campaign, which I think I just somehow managed to, well, hopefully explain and not confuse. Where are we? In which decisions carry far-reaching and unexpected consequences. As a living card game, new cards and adventures are released regularly, allowing players to customise the contents of this core set or to create their own original decks. And there is the back of the box. So you can see again, it's a predominantly card-based game. This one, as I say, there's no kind of board. You get the cards and you basically, you know, all your locations, your monsters, everything are on like the cards. What is unique to this as well, which I really like about it before I open it, in fact I'll tell you what, I'll start opening our waffle while I go, is there's like a system whereby some games require you to roll a dice. This one doesn't. There is like a bag, and within the bag you put tokens, and those tokens have different values, like -1, -2, +1, +2, and your characters have different strengths and weaknesses, and you have to do like skill tests like everything that you do. So you might have, say, a skill 2. The thing you're trying to beat might have a skill 2. So straight away, that's 2 to the game, 2 to you. Then you dip your hand in the bag. I think it's called the Mythos bag. You dip your hand in that, and you might pull out a 2 or a positive thing, in which case you will numerically have a greater score and you will succeed in your task. However, there are horrible things in there. Negatives, minuses, automatic fails, all this sort of stuff to kind of account for the fact of how horrible the game is, in the nicest possible way. Bear in mind, it's a horror game, not a walk in a park. Or you can have like different tokens that have different meanings for different scenarios. So yeah, what you're basically doing is you go along, you're taking turns. I'll take my turn, do my stuff, play my cards, do whatever, explore, get tokens, do what I'm doing. Then you take yours, and all the while the game is working against us, giving us monsters, giving us problems to solve. And there's 2 piles of cards. There's like an open book, and one we need to get like clue tokens. We get clue tokens, and this side, it is our side. This progresses 2 or 3 cards in, and we win. However, when shit goes wrong, and it will very, very quickly, this side of the page starts turning over, and this will turn over 2 or 3 cards, and like that'll be the end. So every time a card turns over here, it's bad. So you've always got that kind of, do you explore, do you fight monsters, do you move on, don't you, what do you do, do you help me, give me that, do I give you this, and you're working together to actually do this within this kind of environment. Of such a smooth little gaming system, it really is. Okay, so 1 to 4 players. So again, you play this pretty much like Max Apocalypse last month, like on your own with 1 character. I wouldn't recommend it. 2-handed, where you control 2 characters, that's a sweet spot. Or my favourite spot is 2 players, because you actually got another human being to talk to and make decisions. Okay, so 1 to 4, 45 minutes, cooperative. Gives a list of the contents, of which I'm going to open and show you now. Tell you what, you've all caught me in a real waffly mood today. I thought, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to fly through it, because I've kind of unboxed it before a few years ago on the channel, on my other channel and stuff. It should be easy, but some days I just end up in waffle mode, do you know what I mean? And hey, there we go. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful periodic artwork. Can't argue it. That's the one thing about Fantasy Flight, whether you like them or you don't, you like the models or you don't. They always do top quality art. Okay, so we have a learn to play guide, and we have a rules reference guide. Okay, so this is probably standard fare. They've continued this in like the new box releases. The learn to play is the rules reference of what it says on the box. If you're not sure about a rule, look it up. On the back of the learn to play, we've got the full phase sequence. It tells us what we do, where we go, how we do it, etc., which is always nice. You all know what I'm going to say. I'm a massive fan of this. And then we have a campaign guide. Now, I'm not going to go too far. In fact, I'm not even going to open this. I'm going to show you the front cover. The campaign itself is called Night of the Zealot, and that's all I'm going to say. So it is a multi-page campaign guide, and on the back you have a little campaign log for you to write down. So plenty to do straight away. As I say, only 3 scenarios, but play with different characters, mess about, get used to the game, and then go out and buy what you want. Or don't, as the case may be. Or have a mate who's got it all. Okay, so we have a set of tokens. So they are the aforementioned numbers that I'd already mentioned to you. And oh my god, that's horrible. -6, -7, -8 on account. Yeah, brutal. And then we have these little resource tokens, which are in 3, 1s, 5s. So each turn you get to gather resources, and you can basically use these resources to spend to buy your cards in your hand to put into play. So you might have a card for, say, 3 resources. It's a shotgun. You'd have to pay those resources to get that card. You've now got a shotgun. You with me? Double-sided they are now. So we got, these appear to be health tokens, the red ones. The blue ones have got a little brain, so they're like your sanity. We got doom tokens, which is like what the game wants. This is a player 1 token, so I do my stuff and then I pass it to you. I say all these are double-sided, there's like sort of like, so your 3s will have like 1s on the back and that kind of thing. So, you know, just your basic set of Fantasy Flight counters. We have, oh that's nice, a nice little felt bag where we put those said counters in. We have our character cards, nice little bit of artwork for these. So what you do is you put like your character card there. This is Roland. Keep your face up while you're doing your actions, and then when you finish your actions, there's a black and white version of them on the back there, to denote the fact that you've moved, you've gone. Okay, so there we go. There are the other investigators there, and their little black and white pictures on the back. Okay, so they're your character card. 5 investigators to start off with. Like I say, all the other Mythos packs and all that adventure packs, they've got even more. What is of interest, before I jump in, just show you like what else is in the box, is you can get like one of the adventure packs of, say, 4 series in, and take those investigators and use them in this, and use all different cards you got out of that. In this, the whole system is basically interchangeable. So there's the box. What is nice as well over the last edition is this. So automatically we've got places to put all our cards. So if you go and buy your expansions, you've got places to put them all, which is nice. Okay, and we basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 smaller piles of cards and 1 bigger pile of cards. Okay, so there's your bigger pile of cards there. So this is extra ammunition. And again, I'm not opening any of these because I want you to go out, if you fancy the game, do more research, buy the box, do what you're doing. I don't want you saying, oh, Nick told me this, Nick showed me that. This is like a mystery game, so let's keep it that way, shall we? Okay, so that is an example of one of the cards there. So we take 2 resources, I think, to pay for the extra ammunition card there. Okay, we have, okay, the Gathering. So this is one of the scenarios, and what's nice is in the original box there, all these cards are all mixed. You have to work them out. I don't want to work them out. I want to go and find like the adventures. Do you know what I mean? So we've got the Gathering, self-sealed with all the cards you need. The Devourer below, self-sealed with all the cards you need. The Midnight Masks, packed with all the cards you need. Okay, so that straight away is absolutely lovely. It's so beginner friendly, it's unreal. You may not have ever played an LCG, you may not ever have played a card or a board game. You could come round and say, right, okay, we're playing this adventure, and you're playing that character, and I don't have to sit there for a week unpacking things. So these other 5 packs are our investigators. So we've got Roland Banks. Okay, so on the top you see a series of numbers, 3, 3, 4, 2, yeah? They're basically all his different skills. So we might have some brain power, he might be a bit more physical, he might be able to evade, So all the characters are all kind of pretty even, but Roland is like your tank class, what's known as a Guardian. He's like he's a federal investigator. Okay. We have the Urchin, Wendy Adams. We have Agnes Baker, the waitress. We have Daisy Walker, the librarian. And we have Skids O'Toole, the ex-con. Now, the sharp-eyed amongst you might notice as well, like all the backgrounds on Skids is like green. On Wendy are yellow. On Agnes are purple. On Wendy are red. And on Roland are blue. Okay. Why, may you ask? Well, do you remember I said to you before about getting different cards and acquiring different card decks and different card sets? That is why they are like the different classes. So you got like Guardian, you got Seeker, Survivor, I think. Off the top of my head, there's like a magic user one as well, who can deal in the arcane arts. And someone's probably screaming at me who's actually played this a lot more because it's been a long time. It's this, it's that, it's the other. So, you know, you can basically, it's almost like a role-playing game in a box as well. So let's put the campaign thing away. I'm just moving these over here for now. Okay. I just want to have a quick flick through the Learn to Play guide with you, like I always do. I'm not going to bother with the rules reference. It's a list of alphabetical rules. Okay, so we have a little intro and a list of the components. Fundamental concepts. It tells us all about win and lose and scenario decks and counter decks. The chaos bag, not the mythos bag. What am I on about? There you go. Nicely laid out as well, I've got to say. First game setup. Everybody knows what I'm like when I see these. I'm really, really happy with that. Just the idea of basically, you know, having something to just hold your hand. The scenario setup. How we go about setting up our first scenarios. And again, everything's like numbered as well, so it's like in steps, which is really, really nice. Not everyone's a gamer, are they? Okay, and then it tells us the round sequence. So it's the investigator phase, and all you can do there, you can draw a card, gain a resource, activate an ability, engage an enemy, investigate to get your clues, move to a new location, play a card or an event, attempt to evade an enemy, or fight an enemy. So they're basically all the stuff you can do. And then it tells you what each one of those does and how we go about it. Yeah, and then it says about a cooperative game. And then tells us where we go with the enemy phase, what the game does to work against us. Okay, so the hunted enemies move and then the enemies attack. You take damage, etc., be it mental or physical. And then we have the upkeep phase. And then we have the mythos phase. So straight away there, again, all this is like covered on the back of your turn phase and stuff. But it goes in more in depth. It tells us about skills and skill tests. Remember I told you where you got your numeric value on your card against the thing that you're trying to do, fight the enemy or whatever, and the chaos bag. It tells a little bit about skill tests, chaos token effects. And then it says what's next. Then it tells us a little bit about deck building, which is what I have actually covered earlier on. So hopefully the part I was talking about earlier now makes sense as we delve deeper. And then it tells us about starter decks. Now this is really nice because it lists everybody's starter decks. And it gives us like strategy tips for each character. So, you know, you want to go along, you want to play sort of like Roland. And you go, okay, well, this tells a little bit about Roland, what's he about, you know, etc. So it says, like, say, for example, Roland is a capable fighter and clue gatherer. Daisy is a high intellectual investigator who favours a support role or a rush for clues approach. Skids is a well-rounded character who's decent at combat, evasion and investigation. And then we have Agnes is a high willpower spellcaster who is particularly good at dispatching enemies. Wendy is a slippery investigator who's great at avoiding danger. So it gives you like these sort of like little stories about them. And I mean the artwork, look at that. And I say on the back there, they're the classes. Guardian, Seeker, Mystic, Rogue and Survivor. So I've got a couple of them right. It tells you what their skills are, all about the chaos tokens, and all that sort of good stuff there. So that is Arkham Horror the card game, the almost second reprint. I say they basically come along, they tied up all the rules, they give us more tokens, more importantly, more cards. It is now 4-player straight out the box. Okay, so if you like what you see here, give this little channel a little bit of love. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. Please comment below. I want you to comment. Do you fancy this? Do you play LCGs? Do you play CCGs? Is this your kind of thing? Have you played it? Are you going to buy it? Are you interested? Do you want to see more board game content? Leave all those fantastic comments below and I shall see you next time.